Do you know how many vaginas I've had in the last 8 years? I've been snipped, I've been tucked, etc.
Yeah, so this episode should really be called 101 Ways to Describe Your Lady Parts because it was all about the lady parts in the BBL, chili cheese Fritos, and just so much going on. But I think I finally have maybe started to crack the code as to what's not working with Atlanta, and I cannot wait to get into it with you.
Oh my god, me too. Let's get into
All
it.
right, let's go.
So even as we're heading toward the fun, amazing, fantastic location, the ladies are arguing again. So Portia and Kelly are really at it this season 17, and they start to get into it again.
Yeah, they never really stopped, and I tend to feel that Portia may have been telling the truth on this one. She was just too
Right.
resolute. She was just too resolute in recalling what happened and just standing 10 toes down like, "Yeah, she sleeps with married men,"
Yeah.
but at the same time, we all know that she has allegations of that, so I don't know what we're really arguing about, honestly. It's kind of an old hat.
Mm. True that, but it was an old hat denied. So I guess she's putting truth on it now, right? Because it was denied back in the day. So,
Right, but I do like how Portia did come around and she ended up admitting that she was very disappointed in herself and how she came at Kelly, and I really do hope that there's resolution between these 2. I'm gonna just be honest before we get into anything. I find Atlanta
yeah.
a very difficult show to watch just from a cultural perspective because it hurts my heart to see my women like battling it out the way they do. And yes, some of the reads and the shades are fun, but they just go in so deep. And
Yeah.
it's a really hard watch. If you don't mind, I know we got highlights and things, but I want to just kind of get right into this K Michelle and Portia and Drew drama, but really K Michelle and Drew.
Yeah. Well, it's Drew, Portia, and Phaedra, is what Kay said. But I guess it depends on which drama, right?
Well, we saw K Michelle coming in and at the breakfast very melancholy and people wanted to know why. And she's, has this emotional um outburst, if you will. It's very emotional because in her conversation with Shamia and Kelly, I guess somewhere in that conversation, she was sharing that she had felt that people were plotting against her on the cast. And it
Yeah.
boiled down to Portia, Drew, as well as Phaedra, but really laser focused. Somehow she became laser focused on Drew. And
Yeah.
part of me walked away thinking, and I know that Drew, and we know in past episodes and past seasons, Drew does not always have the best relationship with the truth. Okay.
That is a fact.
Right. She embellishes, she doesn't always take full accountability, and she doesn't
Yes.
even, really she lies. Like we know this. I mean,
He lies.
similar to Stacey Rush in many ways, and she gets away with it because people like her. She's charismatic, she's funny, and all the things.
Yeah.
But in this situation, I walked away feeling like Drew wasn't in the wrong here. And my feeling was, and I'm not sure what K Michelle's past history was with Love and Hip Hop because I never really watched that show with any degree of fidelity. And I feel like I literally need to go back and watch it to
I can
discover.
explain it.
Yeah. Um, then I'll go ahead and pause. Go ahead and share out.
So Kay Michelle was on the show
Okay.
with another woman, a rapper named Rashida. So Rashida was married to a man named Kirk, and you might have heard from them recently as the couple that was kind of like made as a joke
Hmm.
because he cheated so many times. Either way, so Rashida was friends with a woman who was dating the ex of K Michelle, who allegedly abused her, per K Michelle. So he denied it. And Rashida said on a reunion, it's out there for everybody to see. Well, I don't necessarily believe that that happened to you. So it was a whole thing. And she hated Rashida ever since. And when she talks about what happened in her past in Love and Hip Hop and in Atlanta, I think she's referring to Love and Hip Hop
Well,
and
yes, I
all
mean,
the drama.
she definitely has shared, in her confessionals, and I believe in talking to Shamia by the pool 2 episodes ago,
Mhm.
you know, girls being mean to her and coming after her and coming for her and things like that. So, obviously, this was a real experience for her on Love and Hip Hop?
It was bad. She
Okay.
really tried to get Rashida to believe her, and
Mm.
Rashida did not believe that that happened to her.
So she's coming in with, like, a low level of trust anyway when it comes to women
Right.
and especially women in mass, like with this cast, right?
And in Atlanta, she says.
Yeah. So my takeaway and my wondering was, production knows that this is a vulnerability of hers. Did they stir the pot? Were there some machinations in production that really amplified, and kinda amplified, her insecurity that she already has about people plotting against her and kinda threw some seeds in there just to make a moment happen that really probably never happened or never even really needed to happen?
Because who called her? Who told
Right.
her
Right.
that this was gonna happen?
And
I
yeah.
wonder, did somebody from production tell her? Allegedly?
Well, that's what it's looking like, in my opinion. No proof, no proof. But
No
that was my
proof.
takeaway because she was very clear. Shamia didn't bring the information, neither did Drew.
Right.
Neither did Kelly. I came to them and told them, this is what, I'm getting. And it feels like production may have leveraged her insecurity against her to create a moment.
I think production may have done that.
Mhm.
I think so.
And I gotta tell you, I mean, I don't wanna keep harping on Atlanta because I want to love it. I want to love it. I heard today that, Andy Cohen, pretty much in so many words, put the nail in the coffin about Nene ever coming back as an
Oh,
OG. And
wow.
honestly, I do believe that that's the kinda energy that we need, but part of me was wondering, is Shamia's and Portia's beef so, so deep that it's causing this fracture in the cast where it's really hard for them to show up and have authentic relationships and have authentic conflict? What would happen if Shamia and Portia really, who were really true friends up until this, they were
Right.
really true friends. What would happen if they healed that rift? Would we have a different show? Would we have a show that we'd enjoy? Because I feel like up until now, I mean, the only one that is really possibly entertaining and holding attention is Angela, believe it or not. I
That
don't,
is true.
yeah.
And Drew a little bit.
And
I
Drew,
feel like
yes,
Portia a little bit.
yes, yeah,
Not everyone, though.
yes.
Not everyone. No, I wonder the same thing. If they were really besties again, how would everything go? Does production want them to always dislike each other? I
I
can't
no, I
tell.
don't know, but it's and there's no cohesion with the staff. With the staff. It there's no cohesion with this cast in a real way that makes it fun and provocative to watch, and I feel like that entire exchange between Drew and K. Michelle was entirely manufactured, with unbeknownst to them, it felt like Drew for the first time was literally fighting blind until she goes back and talks to her boyfriend Black or her possible boyfriend Black, and he says, "Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't her DM." And I told her, "Damn, you look good. You look hot," or whatever. And she was
Yeah.
like caught off guard. She's like, "Oh, well, now that rage makes sense, right?"
Well, I mean, does it, or is she still exaggerating the point?
Does who?
Does the rage make sense? That's what I'm saying.
I think K. Michelle's rage makes sense in that context, particularly because she has such a poor relationship with trusting women as a whole, right? And trusting a
Mhm.
cast of women in reality TV. And if Drew felt she was lying about her connection to Black, and then Drew finds out, you know, there really was a connection, um, that in itself feels like a plot. You know,
The whole
that doesn't
thing, I
itself feel like a
mean,
plot. So I do think, Kelly,
yeah.
I do think that K. Michelle's rage in theory makes sense, and yet it doesn't because it feels like she may have been baited into crashing out on us.
That's the thing. I feel like she was baited, so
Mhm.
I don't know who to believe. Like, was she manipulated or is this like real bait?
I
Or
think the
are
feelings
they
Yeah, I think the feelings that she had about someone planting in her ear that there's a
Yeah,
plot against her is a real reaction based on where she's been. But what's
right.
not coming across is that I don't think Drew was plotting against her, nor do I think Shamia was plotting against her. I
Definitely
think
not
she was baited
Porsha.
into believing that these two are against her, and they're like fighting shadow boxing in the dark, like, what are you talking about? Right. And
Yeah.
so Black coming in and saying, "Oh, yeah, 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 but I did holler at her," which which substantiated what K. Michelle had said in the beginning that he was in my DMs.
Yeah. It
So
does. So
so
that was true.
it does feel like a natural reaction to possibly something she was baited into believing that maybe may or may not have been true, but I do think that Shamia and Drew were telling the truth in that moment because I don't think that Drew and Portia really understood this plot that they're supposed to be plotting against her, you know? And even the scene with the oysters, it's normal
Mhm.
protocol to smell oysters and make sure that they're good, especially on a Tuesday, Tuesday through Thursday,
Right.
you know? So
Right.
I can see production, whispering in her ear and saying, "Hey, do you think that she was referring to you? You know what they said about
Yes.
words." And now she's already paranoid and not trusting of women. It's easy to see why she crashed out like that. And I don't think
It
Portia
is.
had against her, nor do I think that Drew
No.
meant anything. I think that they were utterly blindsided.
I don't think any of them did. I think they're all being potentially
Mhm.
manipulated by production.
Yes. And there are some things that do come across very authentic. And I will say, when Portia was on one knee talking to K. Michelle, everything about her eyes, her body posture, everything was communicating like, girl, what is up? Like, I don't like to see you like this. Okay, we've had our problems, but I am
Yeah.
here for you. Everything about that did not feel performative to me. To me, that felt like a real moment.
I
Um,
believe that Portia was real in that moment.
mhm,
Like, "Girl, tell me what you need.
mhm.
I'll stand up for you." I don't think Portia meant anything negative towards her. I really don't.
Right, right. So K. Michelle looks just entirely uncomfortable. And I wonder to what extent she's regretful to being on the show. She doesn't I don't know if this is the show for her, to be honest with you. And it's not saying that she's not
Same.
fabulous and wonderful and all the things, because she is all the things. But I don't know if this is a good show for her, particularly with that level of distrust that she has towards women at large and being on like Love and Hip Hop and all the things that sounded very traumatic that happened to her.
That's the thing. And she said in the show that, what was it, 8 years ago, and she's still not over it.
Mhm.
I think some therapy might help. Not
So
to say she didn't do therapy. I don't know.
yeah, but just as we predicted a few episodes ago, we predicted that there was going to be beef between K. Michelle. We predicted that that was definitely going to be a thing, and I think we're seeing that live happen.
And with Portia, if anyone, or Drew,
Yeah,
because they're the strongest arguers,
right,
I feel as though the production might have put these people together to
right,
maybe argue.
right. I think so too.
Listen,
That's what
that's
they
what we
want. I
think.
don't know if that's an argument that's going to save the show.
I wonder if it was boring and that's why this needed to be done. It's
Well, it
hard
is
to
boring. It,
say.
it is. There's no wonderment about it. It is a boring show. It
So, do you think this was done because of the boredom?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
And when you really look at the cast at large, there's no really deep organic friendships in that group.
Yeah, it's not like Ladies of London where you could feel the real authenticity
Mhm.
or I don't know about Potomac or even Beverly Hills. Not a lot of good examples, but
Well, I mean, Potomac had deep ties. Karen and Giselle went way back. Katie Ross at the initial season of Potomac. Those ties were pretty deep. Those were some legacy
true.
ties that existed before the show, and
And Giselle and Robin.
and I think Andy is trying so hard to put together a show, and he stands by this, putting together a show that that everybody loves all the cast members. And I think we do all enjoy them individually, but as an ensemble cast, it's just not working because they're not connected. They're not connected in
Yeah,
a real way. You have Pinky as a cast member. She's not really landing. I mean, she's tied to K. Michelle. They're deltas together, but I don't know if they really interacted outside of the show. We're not really seeing a deep, abiding alliance there.
I don't think
Let's see,
so.
Angela, who would she be attached to?
Who is she close to? Is she close to Drew or Shamia
Exactly.
or
You have to wonder like that, and the
Yeah,
answer is,
see,
if
we
it's that,
don't
then it's
know.
ambiguous. So it's like they need an entire reboot. I mean, we can compare it to Ladies of London, but let's bring it back home on domestic soil. Compare it again to the original Atlanta cast, and they all knew each other, and it all worked. So, and if you
Yes.
know each other deeply, you know all the skeletons, you know what to bring out, and production doesn't have to do any of the work. And I felt like this was production's show that we watched. It felt so contrived, and I love Cynthia. Cynthia is a queen, but Cynthia is so Switzerland. She's not going to stir the pot.
Yeah.
She's not
She's
going to
the
stir the pot.
best.
You know? So, Phaedra's amazing, but her one-liners are not enough to carry the whole show. Funny as she
Not
is
just that.
funny as
Yeah.
she is hilarious. I enjoy her confessionals. I think I'd watch it for her confessionals, honestly. For that little
I
30
do
seconds, I'm happy.
too. Yeah. She just doesn't want no problems. Like, she don't want no problems, like, no, like, too deep where it has to interfere with her kids and, like, Apollo, because the past was so crazy with her. So I think Phaedra earned her kind of like, she's a little bit objective because she's kind of, like, further away.
Right. I think her intentionally stirring the pot the way she used to, I don't think that those days are behind her, but they're less
Mhm.
frequent. You know? I
Right,
don't think
right.
that's where her priority is. But what was funny to me is that, and I couldn't figure this out, was K. Michelle has this problem with Drew and Portia and Phaedra, I guess. But instead of going to them, she addresses the problem on Twitter.
3 hours before she yelled at the table of no one. Like, she didn't have the guts to, like, tell the table the problem. She just stood there and she's like, "If you did this to me, I don't like it." Like, who are you talking to, girl?
Yeah. I did think it was interesting that then I'm still on the K Michelle train. She opens up and she's trying to be holy and, bring God into I think
I'm
they're the
trying to be holy.
yeah, and defies Shamia's assertion that this is a safe space because of all the arguing, tearing down of each other, she says, and that is true. But if you came on this show looking for a safe space, then you are on the wrong show. You are on the way wrong show. You know, there's no friendships on these casts in any real way. This is a job, and the job is to fight, is to drag, reconciliation, and just to do it all over again and recycle the whole process all over again.
Exactly. Like light shades, some key, like some jokes, good reads. However, who told her this wasn't going to be like this?
Right,
I would love to know who told her that,
right.
you know?
Yeah. And the issue I just personally, like I said before, have with Atlanta, it's the and I don't think that this is entirely the cast's fault, but just the how they just villainize each other to the point that they're literally acting out these stereotypes. Production is egging it on.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're a part of it. That just becomes so uncomfortable to watch sometimes. And
And
yet I watch it because
expand.
huh?
Expand, please. I would love to speak further on that,
We
if
are,
you
we
don't
are, we are.
mind.
Remember, we have a whole series dedicated to that, so I'm gonna save some of
Of
that. But,
course. Yes.
I think production and edits and things like that are manipulated, and definitely it's in each of those women to give a good read and to drag, but it just drags to the point of, okay, you
Yeah.
are really contributing to a stereotype about Black women that's very not much our real lived experience, but it plays for TV, I
Right.
suppose, really well. And there's a disconnect that's from what I see on TV and what I have lived in real life as a lived experience as a Black woman amongst a diverse group of Black women, and we don't drag each other like that. And so, but I do know that there is a show to make. So, and the show requires entertainment. And if it bleeds, it leads. And they go for the veins and all of the things. And so that's why we get what we get. But compared to other franchises, I don't think any other franchises that are not Black drag that deeply and go that hard in the paint. Because there's really no stereotype for them to compete against, so um, yeah, that's just kinda my issue with with Atlanta at large. I would love to see a show where, yes, we have some conflicts going on, but let's talk about these conflicts and let's talk about healing and let's have a little bit of fun and let's do a little bit of dragging and let's have a little comedic shade, but let's keep it honest. Let's keep it about the real lived experiences that occur across the diaspora of Black women all over the world that doesn't look
Right.
like this. So that's kind of my struggle with Atlanta. And yet I find individually they are all gorgeous, entertaining,
Mhm.
and provocative. As an ensemble cast, it's not working for me. And if we're going to do Atlanta, then let's do Atlanta the way we used to do it.
I absolutely know what you mean. So do you think they cast the way they do just for the shade? Just for the old way, but they're just not landing because these women don't know each other. And that's, I think, what you're saying is the main problem is that Kay didn't really know anybody else. She kind of knew Portia. And then Portia and Shamia were best friends, but now they don't talk. So it just seems so convoluted,
It does.
right?
It
It
does. And
does.
I'd like Shamia and Portia to really have a heart to heart because there was a friendship that they had before this show. It only shifted until the moment it seems that it shifted when Shamia got a peach.
That's what it seems. And sometimes I wonder if production influenced the certain cast members to kind of turn them towards each other, like
Absolutely.
against each other. I
Ab
mean,
abs
yeah,
absolutely, and so what we
yeah,
are seeing are real reactions to maybe situations that were manufactured blindly by production, unbeknownst to the women, because literally Portia Drew, and Phaedra looked like, "Wait, what?" You know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
"Who was plotting against you?" Everybody at the table was confused, utterly
Everybody.
confused. So, um and then, you're at the table saying that this is not a safe space, everybody's tearing it down each other, but you go to Twitter to, like, to
Exactly.
to,
What is
to
that
tell them
about?
that you haven't even given the women respect to come to the problem with first. So, it was just kind of like,
'Cause somebody called her, quote, unquote. Like, who called you? You have to tell us.
yeah. I thought it was
She
rich, though.
has
Y
to.
This is the part that I thought was rich, and
Tell me.
I remember my grandmother said, "You never be nice to everybody, basically, because you never know who has to give you a glass of water." So Cynthia coming to Pinky's rescue with a glass of ginger ale, I might add,
You're so right.
was
Oh my
probably the best part of the
god.
whole show.
Is that like a Judas thing? Like, you never know who's gonna give you the glass?
No, it's more like, watch your steps with people. You never know who you
Oh,
might need a glass of water from. If you're really thirsty, if you're on your dying day, you never know who's gonna have to, and it's metaphorical, really, who's gonna have to give you that glass of water,
yeah.
the thirst whatever thirst you have or whatever you're trying to overcome. You never know. That's what she always say. You never know who's gonna have to give you a
Yep.
glass of water. So, karma, it's like the intersection of karma and watching how you move with people.
Yeah.
So,
Being a good person.
yeah. So, here comes Cynthia, who really didn't have to do that, but she chose to make sure she was okay and was more than kind because she's a class act and went and got her ginger ale and crackers or whatever. And,
Yeah, she's a nice person.
so I thought that that was rich.
Yeah.
I thought that was rich.
I thought so too, and she even pointed out the karmic relevance of it. She
She
was like,
did.
"See? You never know who's gonna have to get see?" Like,
Mhm.
she even basically said, "I told you so." Like, "Don't be mean to me because I gave you your ginger ale." They did take that room thing way too far. Come on, like,
They did.
they did. Oh, she would have fixed it. It did not need to go that far.
It did not need to go that far. But
Cynthia would have fixed it for them.
can we talk about these one-liners, though? A
Oh my
troll
god. Okay, yes.
Portia to Kelly, a troll trying to climb a tree.
Yes, I have that right here. And that was her.
And then they're laying into each other, and we go from chili cheese to Hot Pockets,
Chili cheese to Hot Pockets energy.
all of which to describe a lady part. I just may not ever, be able to recover from that.
And
And
now we know what a rose is.
right! I'm like, "What are they talking about roses?"
Not just a book.
But I will say what's kinda cool about these ladies is that they can go in, they go in, they go in, they go in, right? To the point that they're about to, really buck up, and then they start laughing and talking about.
Yes. Then they just key, and it's so
Yeah,
perfect. It's like
I
what
will
you
say that.
want in a friend.
Yeah, I will say I do really love that part.
We kinda do that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
we do, audience.
yeah. Can we just talk
Um,
about, um, the gala? First of all, kudos to Cynthia's assistants for, like, really kind of doing his level best to give the best gala possible, and was so regretful that it was raining, like, he
yes.
caused the rain. I mean, he couldn't help that.
I know, that was so heartbreaking.
But, Shamia and Porsha
Yes,
and Phaedra brought it.
they did. Always, always. I always find them to be the best dressed
I mean,
trio.
Shamia was giving it was supposed to be Dynasty, but she was giving Dallas, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, all the shows from.
Yes,
She was
I
giving
love
the
that.
hair, the Bucaletti, I think it was called, the vintage, necklace that she had on, just fire, just
Yes,
absolute fire, fire, fire,
she
fire.
looked
We need to
gorgeous.
have a party like that,
Phaedra, Portia, oh my goodness. They always slay.
always.
Assignment they're given, they understand the assignment. They
Absolutely.
dress perfectly, the diamonds, the jewelry, the hair. I'm just like, Phaedra is like everything because I'm short. So I'm like, oh my God, I just want her hair. I want her
I
outfits.
want that blonde hair.
I want that
She looks
blonde
amazing.
hair.
Can I ask you what was going on with Pinky's, ode to the dynasty that didn't really land? What was
The
that?
shiny lungs, it was like a shiny
And the
outfit, but the
hat, it was like, "Huh?"
I feel so bad for her.
I
So
don't.
she I think the producers knew what they were doing. They wanted a woman who can't necessarily dress according to Atlanta standards, maybe not TV standards. They knew what they were doing. They said, "Let's get her and they're gonna slay her."
I don't know if it's that deep, but she's just not. I don't know if it's that deep because I do like most of the things that she's coming through with, but that particular fit for this particular gala, it didn't land.
Yeah. No, but neither did the anything really this episode. The
Yeah.
not orange, the hot pink, wasn't feeling that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so. Sorry, but I
Another
love you,
episode.
Pinky.
I mean,
I love her personality, though, I will say.
when she's not dragging folks, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when she's not on Kay's side. Let me ask you something before we go. Did you feel like some of them were just sucking up to Kay and, like, she wasn't mad at them, so they were like, "Okay, I'm gonna get on your train, Kay, since she's, like, big and bad."
No,
Wow.
I don't, and I don't think Kay is that big and bad.
Only by reputation, I guess,
I think
not in
yeah, I think she can
reality.
get activated. We saw she can get activated, but,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just gonna defer any more analysis on Kay Michelle, but I don't think she's a good fit for this cast. I wonder why she came on the show, and what were their expectations of her in coming on the show.
She might be too sensitive.
Right, and you gotta be able to hold your own with these ladies, you know? So,
Mhm.
um
'Cause she
I
felt
think if she was
triggered.
that big and bad, that I whatever big and bad means, I think she's bad in her own right. Like, she is a bad ass for sure. Like, let's give her that. But in terms
Mhm.
of being a formidable person to kind of buck up against
Yeah.
and being able to take hits, that's where I think her ego is a little fragile, you know. And I saw Shamia and Kelly trying to figure out what is wrong with you. I didn't feel like they were kissing up to her at all. I feel like they were trying to kind of help her resolve whatever she was feeling at that moment.
I almost noticed I peeped when Portia said, "Oh, this oyster is okay. This one kinda smells." It wasn't it almost at that moment you feel like when K. Michelle kinda looked at her like, "What?"
Yeah, but people do that when you go to
No, I know.
it's like, when you have
She's
oysters,
too
you smell them.
sensitive. She is too sensitive, and I don't like saying that about people, but for this show, maybe.
That's all
Right,
I got to say about Atlanta today.
this ain't it. K. Michelle and Pinky are not it. Sorry. That's just my opinion,
Yeah,
but I don't think anybody would really argue with us
they can.
either.
They certainly can,
You
and
can,
I
and if
wanna
you want
understand it.
to,
Yeah, maybe it's something we're not seeing that I'd love to understand
please.
differently, but
Yeah, let us know.
I'm just not seeing it, you know. And I feel like our coverage a little bit is redundant because we keep coming back to the same the same
And
conclusion.
we try. I mean, we try to put everything in little boxes, but a lot of it has so much to do with one thing.
Right.
It's
Right.
like Portia argued with, she tried to help Kay, but Kay was really mad at her, and then
Here's the
just
thing, when
kinda
you think back in early Atlanta, you had and I not even referencing a particular season, but you had Lisa Wu, you had Nene, you had Sheree, you had, uh, Kim Zolciak,
Kim.
who else? Okay, these are the ones that stand out
Those were the
mostly
main,
for
I
me,
think.
and each of them had major life happenings that were going on in their own lives, and they had major
Yeah.
beef with each other,
Yes. And then
and
later on, it was Kenya and it was Portia, and that was beautiful.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was the
And
best.
Kenya was definitely a very conscientious disruptor who is extremely smart and extremely strategic and probably knew how to play herself and get in there and do the job of becoming an iconic housewife who would go toe to toe with any legacy cast member, did not care. That made for explosive,
Exactly.
wonderful television. She came in almost you felt like knowing she was gonna be the villain. She didn't come in to be friends. She came in to
Yeah.
disrupt, and that she did, you know? So, maybe those are some of the elements that are missing. I'm trying to understand it and figure it out, but I know that, it's become really quite a task to sit down and to
It
process
is.
it because I'm looking for that one thing that worked. Yes, it got exciting when K. Michelle kind of, you know.
Yeah, like she bucked up
Yeah.
and like she wanted, but
For sure, but
You're not gonna
Aga
let you fight,
but
so
again, I say oh, they might, though, but again, I say, I don't think Drew was guilty of anything, of plotting anything. I just
I
really
don't think
don't.
so.
I
I
really don't.
really don't.
Yeah, I
The
think
whole, black thing, I swear, I think she was just trying to find a commonality with her.
that's what I think
Like,
too. Oh, well, you
I
know him.
swear.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
him.
like, "Oh, my boy Black," like, "Oh, yeah,"
Or
like
you guys hung out together or whatever, you know.
and she's over here like, "How you dare say I know him?"
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
whole thing was odd.
"Girl, you are so, like, mad." I don't
So,
know.
if I watched Love and Hip Hop to get a better understanding of K. Michelle, what seasons should I go to?
It's gotta be the season that you gotta check, like, Google K. Michelle's seasons
Mhm,
of it,
mhm.
and I believe it's Atlanta. Yep, it's Atlanta because
Yeah,
Rashida was on it,
okay,
and it's gotta be her seasons with Rashida on them.
okay,
I
I'm
would
gonna watch
say
it just so I
her
can get
end her end, up, go up, and then do, like, 3 seasons.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna watch it just so I could have a better understanding of it. My mom used to watch it, but I never really got into it. I just watch it here and there with her.
I used to be so into it back
Yeah,
then. I hate that K. Michelle is traumatized. I
I do
hate that
too.
for her.
And why would you put somebody who's traumatized by reality TV on the show unless you wanted to manipulate that trauma? And if that's what's
Exactly.
happening, that's really equally unfair to her.
And what did they offer her for her to put all that trauma out there?
What did they offer her and what did they expect of her?
Yes.
You know?
Everything? Do they expect her everything?
So, well, okay. Another Atlanta episode has come and gone. Next stop, as you know what, is in the city. And I am excited to get off this mic and get ready for that.
Woo!
We've got some hot goss coming your way and a few. So sit back and stay tuned. And we'll see you on the other side.
Bye, friends. Bye,
Bye.
love.
Bye, you.